when the subtitles, like the credits flashed up, I screamed. I don't know who heard me, but I screamed in the cinema. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So, oh my god, it's snowing. I want to start a new series on my channel of me drawing my character art because I feel like I have no way of like talking about my characters. I really want to show them to you because well, I'm proud of them and I want to talk. This is a new series called Draw Characters with Me. Yeah, let's just call it that, okay? Today we are going to draw Neo and Trinity from The Matrix Resurrections. Woo woo!
As some of you guys might know, I am a huge, and I mean huge, Matrix fan.
And another thing about this series, I'm only going to record me drawing characters that I really love. There are some characters that I really love and some characters that I just like. And if I record every single video, every single time I draw a character, I'm never gonna finish editing those videos. So I have a reference picture right here. This is the scene that I want to draw of Neo and Trinity. It's them. Oh, spoilers alert. This video contains a lot of spoilers. See the movie before you watch this video if you don't want spoilers. So this is the scene that I picked out to draw for Neo and Trinity. This is the scene where they are in Simulate and they're chatting about Neo's game. So let's just start drawing this scene. As I've said, I love The Matrix. The Matrix is one of my favorite movies of all time. I watched the first Matrix film for the first time on January 13, 2021. So that's my Matrix anniversary. And when I learned the news that they're gonna make a fourth film, and when I watched the fourth trailer, I was like
jumping to the sky.
And I also made a video about the Matrix, what the Matrix Resurrections could possibly be, like just me explaining my thoughts and stuff and Trinity and what I thought about the trailer. So if you want to see it, I'll link the video down below. I watched Matrix Resurrections in National Film Museum, I believe, in Beijing. And it's the first time this girl ever experienced IMAX. Like, before this, I have never watched anything in IMAX before. Here is a brief summary of The Matrix Resurrections. Basically, Matrix Resurrections is for Neo and Trinity to go back together. Yeah, that's basically the whole plot. Like, I'm just gonna briefly summarize it. Basically, Neo, who is known as Tom Sanderson again, which is so sad, which is like kind of disappointing, is a game designer that designed the game Matrix. Trinity, which is known as Tiffany now, which is also kind of disappointing, but I love Audrey Hepburn too, okay, is a wife and a mom, which is also kind of disappointing. And this girl called Bugs and the new Morpheus, they unplugged Neo, and Neo wants to save Trinity. That's it. I know that there are a lot of mixed reviews for this film. Like, some people say that it's really nice and some people didn't like it at all. Like, I've seen some, brutal YouTube comments saying that they really didn't like the film, like it's a waste of time or something. So for me, I'm kind of closer to the side where I love Matrix Resurrection. It's because, and I actually wrote a kind of a little review of this film on my Instagram. I know there are mixed reviews, but I still think that the film is overall a success. Because for me, seeing Neo and Trinity back together again just made this film. Throughout the film, seeing Neo and Trinity together, I wanted to scream. I was like this. I was like this. But after the very last scene, when the subtitles, the credits flashed up, I screamed. I don't know who heard me, but I screamed in the cinema. Felt like I was gonna cry because I was so excited. In my other video about The Matrix, I talked about how I think Trinity is a little underrated because a lot of my friends who've seen The Matrix just loves Neo and doesn't really care about Trinity. So I talked about how I think Trinity deserves better and deserves more attention because she is also crucially important, even though she is not necessarily the one. But I love how The Matrix Resurrections made Trinity a huge part of this film. The main goal that they're trying to do is for saving Trinity. So I love how Trinity is a huge focus of this film and how she's also part of the one. It's almost like Trinity and Neo are part of this big one, which we guessed right from the trailer. The story, of course, in my opinion, isn't as iconic or interesting as the first three. Like, the first three will still be the best of the Matrix films, but I mean, people don't really care about the complexities of the story anymore, and it's about the characters, especially the love that people are focused on. And like, the chemistry in this movie is certainly a success. This film is focused on the characters and the relationships. Now, I am going to talk about some of my favorite scenes of Matrix's Resurrections. First of all, I really like this scene. I really like this scene where Trinity and Neo meets at Simulate Cafe. This scene is just really sweet. Like, even though they are unaware that they lived their past life with each other, yet at this point, this is still really sweet to look at. And this part is just where Neo and Trinity are like really happy and having like coffee together. The thing that makes this part so special, I think, is because like in the first Matrix films, you don't really get to see the characters being like relaxed and just chatting. You know, their life is like almost always at stake, and they're always trying to save the world, and they're always in desperate situations. But in this film, like in this part, it shows that they're just having a chat, even though they're not Neo and Trinity yet. Another one of my favorite scene is when it's another scene at Simulate Cafe. It's where Neo and Trinity with the SWAT officers, like the police all surrounding them. Like that scene where they like they touched hands and bloop, where like Trinity has to make the decision whether like she should go with Neo or if she should stay with her family in the Matrix. You know, it's a really interesting scene. Like these couples walking into the cafe surrounded by police and the analyst, and they're just sitting on the table, like just them centered in the room, and all of this police surrounding them. I think that was so cool to watch, and I really like how they incorporated the song White Rabbit into this movie because it fits the Matrix themes really well. Like, one pill makes you larger and one pill makes you small. And during September, when I saw the trailer, I was so obsessed with this song because the song was in the trailer. I was so obsessed with this song that I played it like 300 times. And I also really loved the last scene where they fly together. Trinity and Neo fly together. I think that's just like, from that scene, as they flew together and like the screen cuts black and then the credits starts rolling, my emotion, I feel like in my body, was just building up like this. So when the screen flashes back, I literally screamed and like fell back to my chair. Another thing, I really loved how like the director and the editor like incorporated some of the scenes from the original trilogy into the new film. When there's like Neo and Trinity moments, for example, like when they met at Simulate, they incorporated the scene where in Revolutions, where Neo and Trinity met at a train station,
Hugged each other.
like sometimes one of the problems I think is that sometimes in this film you kind of feel like they're forcing the movie to like refer back to the originals, and it's kind of cringy but kind of not. Like, I still like it, but sometimes it's just kind of like they're doing too much of it and like not like all new stuff, which is kind of good and kind of bad. One key important theme of this movie, I feel like, is nostalgia, and I just felt so much nostalgia when I watched The Matrix Resurrection. You know, the funny thing is, like, before watching The Matrix Resurrections, because most people saw it on December 22nd earlier than I saw it, so they started making like analysis and like
25 things you missed in Matrix Resurrections. Explained.
So yeah, I had all these videos on my watch later that I can't watch because I don't want spoilers, obviously. After I got home from the cinema, I immediately opened my laptop and started like watching those videos. So aside from Neo and Trinity, who are my favorites of course, especially Trinity, I also like the character Bugs. Like, I think Bugs is kind of cool as well. And yeah, I think she's cool, but she's also kind of cute sometimes, like how she steps forward for every mission and wants to like go on every single mission there is. So I think, yeah, she's pretty cute and like she's really nice. And another thing I have to talk about like is, aside from Neo and Trinity, all the other characters from the Matrix Resurrections are literally the audience. For example, like Morpheus being really obsessed with the Morpheus quote, and like how people in the Matrix Resurrections in the Matrix are obsessed with the Matrix. Does that make sense? I don't know. They literally speaks for us. The crew of the ship are literally Neo and Trinity fans, and they look up to them just as we look up to get them in the real world. So I think that's really cool. And like a lot of like moments in the film, like when a character says like, I really like you, or like I want to be just as strong as and as fearless as Trinity. So I'm literally
in front of the screen being like, me too, yeah, me too.
And a lot of the quotes from this movie I also really like. For example, choice is an illusion, you already know what you have to do. In the first original trilogy, like when I saw that, there is already the quote like that, you already know what you have to do, choice is an illusion, you know that concept. And in that period, I didn't really understand like what this quote means.
I just agree with this quote without like really understanding the meaning.
But now I understand that quote. I finally understood that quote in this movie. I don't know how, something just clicks and then I just understand that quote. So I think this is such an accurate quote, and like my real life is literally like that. Like although there are some real choices I make that I'm really choosing when I'm choosing, there are also many moments where choice is an illusion and where I already know what to do. For example, take this as an example. A lot of times I am debating whether I should film a video or not, because you know, filming a video takes time, takes setup, takes editing, takes uploading, all that stuff. So sometimes I'm debating with myself if I should upload a video. For example, this case today, before I started drawing the character art, I was really debating if I should start this series of me drawing character art and chatting. Should I really start this? Should I really film this video? Should I really film me drawing Neo and Trinity and talking to you guys? A lot of times when I make a choice like this one, deep down I already know what I'm gonna choose. I already know that I'm gonna film this video. I know I would do it. I just didn't do it yet, if that makes sense. And when I'm choosing this choice, like when I'm like setting up the camera, I'm actually understanding the choice rather than choosing it, because beforehand, deep down, I already chose it.
And that's deep stuff, guys.
Often when I'm actually choosing a choice in the real time, I'm actually understanding why I chose it, because when you fully understand the choice, you'll just choose it. But beforehand, when you haven't made that choice, then when you think that you're debating, the answer is deep down and you already know what you're gonna choose.
Oh my god.
Another quote that I love from this film is like when Neo is in the real world. If Neo and Trinity wants to stay together, the choice is dependent on Trinity, not Neo. And when people say that they're not certain if Trinity would choose Neo, Neo said like, I never believed that I was the one, but she did, but Trinity did. She believed in me. Now it's my turn to believe in her. True love, guys.
Oh my god. It's time to believe in my Trinity.
If my name is not Jill, I would choose my name to be Trin. Although I love my name. Guys, I finished my drawing. Look. Yay, it's done. I am so happy. I'm so happy the way it turned out. I think it turned out really nice. Here's a comparison. This is the picture and this is my artwork. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me talking while drawing my character art. See you next time. Bye. E.